Put this program in now and go and get the goodies. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. You're right, are you? Welcome back. Right, and today we're going to have a look. I've been working on a program for a good few weeks now. It's ideal. You can use it anywhere, absolutely anywhere. But this program will be brilliant for a site that you've used the ancient settings, which is what I use for 90% of my searching. Say if you've got a good site where some good stuff's come up and you've hammered it with the ancient settings or whatever settings you use that you like to use on your site. But when you've hammered it and it's gone quiet, these settings will definitely get you targets that you've missed. So brilliant for hotspots, or it hasn't got to be like a Roman or medieval hotspot, Saxon hotspots or anything like that. It's if you've been on a field where you've had anything that you've liked. It could be, you know, like Victorian coins, it could be any silver, anything. If there's been a hot patch where stuff's come up and you've hammered it and you just want to get a bit deeper and you want to get stuff that you've missed with the other programs, this definitely will get you some more. Okay, so I'm going to go into the settings now. Some people are fine keeping up with what I've got to say, but if you, each section, watch it, pause, then add it in if you're struggling there to put the programs in. But I want to go through all the settings now, and like I say, if I'm going a little bit quick for you, just do the first section, pause it, put it into your machine, watch the next section, pause it, put it into machine, and just do it step by step. I'll do it from left to right, so it's quite simple. As you go through the menus, just follow what I do. Right then, let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look at the program. Fire it up. So this is based off the ancient settings in field 1. You'll notice straight away that I've brought the discrimination down and the tone breaks have been adjusted to suit that as well. It's just so it's a little bit more open. You're going to get the, let me just turn the volume up. Yeah, I've brought the discrimination down, so if you're trying to get the last bits that are in amongst iron and stuff, the iron can bring the signal down. So if you've got, say if you've got a silver Roman, and if that's at about 5 inches and there's bits of nails around it, it can bring the target down, and you'll be surprised what comes in at -1, -2, which is a good signal. So if you've already cleaned the area up and you're just sniffing for the last bits, dig the lower minus numbers. Most of your iron will be -9, -8, -7. So you could get tricked by iron a bit more, but you don't mind getting tricked by a bit more iron because you've got the chance of getting the good stuff next to it. Like I say, you're just fishing for them last little bits. Okay, let's go through the settings. Noise cancel, again, you do the noise cancel every time you get into a field, just as when you first start, and also if you're getting a bit of EMI, you do that throughout the day. But that will just depend on the field that you're on. So you go into noise cancel, push the tick and minus, and that will perform a noise cancel for you. Okay, go across the grain balance. Well, that's the last time I was at, it was at 40. I found that doing a grain balance helps bring the target. It's hard to explain. Like obviously you've got to balance it to suit the grain that you're on. From the very start, when the minelab come out, we was told you haven't got a grain balance unless you really have to, unless it's a really mineralised soil. But after doing a bit of playing about, I found that the grain balance does make a difference. So do a grain balance, especially when you're trying to get the, like you've been on a site that's been hammered and you want to get every little other bit. So again, find a clean area and perform a grain balance. Now your volume is going to be the same as before. Have your volume at 25, go into the expert mode, which is your tone volumes. Tone 1 set at 2, and then the rest at 25, 25, 25, 25. That's the volume of the tones. Go into your threshold, threshold volume of 4, pitch of 1, a 5-tone program, your tone 1 pitch of 1, yeah. 2, 1, so tone 1, pitch of 1, tone 2, pitch of 12, tone 3, pitch of 18, tone 4, pitch of 22, and tone 5, pitch of 25. Now in accept and reject, this is where it's changed. this is where you bring in your discrimination. So you're just allowing a bit more to come through. So you'll notice it's flashing at the bottom there. You go into the area. Yours will probably look like that. So you want to bring the next 3 segments in. So when you're on the segment, you push the tick and cross. That brings it in. Go down 1. That's it. So -2 you want to bring in. Go into expert. Again, you adjust this by you just using the plus and minus. And have that set to -3. The tone break then goes from -3 to 8. Yeah, so just push the minus button, set that at 8. So then -3 to 8 is your low tone. And from 8 to 18 is the next tone. 18 to 30 is the next tone. And then from 30 to 40 is the next tone. This is where it's going to bring some of the targets that was masked before, because the discrimination was too high. So you bring the discrimination down, and the targets that were masked before will now come to light. Yes, you might dig a little bit more iron and crap, but if you want to dig the tricky signals that have been missed on a hot spot, you want to dig the definitely down to 0, and some of the minus numbers will be. You'll be surprised what comes in there. The last setting, recovery speed. I would say use a recovery speed of 3. After doing testing with a ground balance and a recovery speed of 3, it made some of the tricky signals come to life. So this is what has been. I don't know if you've seen the video when I was out with Marky Mark. This is what got me a few more silver silica and some Roman artifacts and coins off a site that has been absolutely hammered, and it was down to doing a ground balance and recovery speed of 3. You can lower that down to 2 or 1, but if you go any lower, it's as though the lower you go on the recovery speed, the longer the signal is. So if you get a signal, it will go, if it was at 5 or 6, which I normally use, it will go beep. But the lower you go down on the recovery, if you was at 1, it will go beep. Do you get me? So, and if you was on a recovery speed of 8 or 9, it will go beep. So it elongates the signal, so it makes the signal jump out a bit. But if you've got your recoveries down at 1 and you've got other signals in the area, so there's like 3 or 4 signals under the coil, you've got that, and then you've got another one trying to come through, so it's like, it all mixes up a bit. So I wouldn't go lower than 2, but for this program, I would say use a recovery speed of 3. An iron bias, I use it as 1 normally, but for this program, I would say iron bias of 1 or 0, just to help you get every little bit out of the ground. So use it in. You could use the iron bias of 1, go across the area again, and then you could even drop it again to 0. You're gonna get quite a bit. You're gonna get tricked quite a bit with iron, but again, is it worth digging them extra bits of iron for the chance of finding a choice find? So it's down to your preference, but I would say use your iron bias at 1, and then after, if you want to get a bit more out of it, you could drop your recovery to 2, and you could drop your iron bias to 0. So that is all of the settings for the new program. Right, I've just done the program for you. I hope it's going to help you out. We're going to call it the SIDS Deep program. This will get that a little bit extra depth on tricky sites. It will also get you extra depth just on normal pasture sites, because you've got a slow recovery and you're more open. So it's a deep program, which will be brilliant even on mega settlements and stuff where there's a lot of iron. You've just got to, instead of going swinging your coil, just know that you've got a lot of iron about, and you've got to give your machine chance to recover, to listen to the target, to slow it down. As Neil would say, slow and low, low and slow, whatever he says. Just nice and steady, and you're listening for little murmurs. Some of the signals that you hear if you're on a mega site, you think, is that a signal? Is that a digger? If you ever think, is that a digger? It's a digger. So that's the one you're listening for. Obviously, you can still get the bangers. You're going to get the beep, 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 which will dig anyway. But when you're on that site and if ever you question a signal and you get, oh, I don't know if to dig that or not, dig it. You'll be surprised what comes out of them signals. So yeah, the new Knox SID Deep settings. I hope you enjoy them, mate. Go on, go and get them goodies.